sweet and sour pork chops with 3 kinds of tomatoes. Enjoy. So during the pandemic, it's good to have a garden in case of supply chain non-delivery. So I have some vegetables. Basically, I'm going to stay with the container gardening. Container gardening means you can move the containers around your yard. Even if you have a small apartment, you can move the veggies from sun to shade anytime you want. Also, if it rains, you can move the vegetables anywhere you want. So, because we're using vinegar, we don't want to use a wok for this. You'll strip the patina finish from your wok. So I'm just going to put some peanut oil into a frying pan. So you put about 3 tablespoons here. So I preheat the pan at medium heat. A regular pan here. So next I'm going to put a tablespoon of chopped ginger and garlic. So you can put more as you like. So I got a tablespoon of ginger and 2 or 3 whole cloves of garlic. So I've got the heat at medium high. Now I'm going to add the onion. Cut up 1 onion. You can use any kind of onion you like. You can turn it up to medium high as you like. After you grill the onions with the ginger and the garlic, I'm going to put the tomatoes down. So I've got about 8 of these Roma tomatoes. So this is enough for 2 orders of sweet and sour tomatoes, sweet and sour sauce with tomatoes. So I've got tomatoes going. Now I'm going to add the other tomatoes. I got the cherry tomatoes from my garden. I also have some early girl tomatoes, the green tomatoes. So I'm just going to add that in as well, just to soften up the tomatoes. So some of the tomatoes are fairly sour, so I'm going to try and balance it off. I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. You can put less if you like. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. So I like my sauce a little more sour, so I'm going to put 2 kinds of vinegars in there. So now I'm just going to add maybe a cup of water. You might put more water if you want more sauce. So these little cherry tomatoes, just kind of mash it up. Just break the surface a little bit. So I'm just going to mash up the cherry tomatoes. So the early girl tomatoes are kind of sour, so I'm just going to add a little nice taste to it. Contrast in tomato flavor. One kind of vinegar. This is a very popular type of vinegar. It's black vinegar. I think it has some kind of fruit in there, so it gives it a different kind of taste. So you can use regular vinegar, but I'm just going to use the black vinegar. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons in there. If you like a little more sour, just add more vinegar. I also like the apple cider vinegar, so I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in there. So if you don't have it, that's fine. I find the apple cider vinegar gives it a nice taste. I'm going to try the flavor. Just going to try the sauce right now. That's nice. Really complex flavor.
Now you can order the products and ingredients that I use in my cooking videos. Just click the link below in the description for the Chinese cooking accessory guide. You can order everything online, including the wok that I use and some of the equipment that I use.
Today we're going to make sweet and sour pork chops. We have a couple slices of pork chops here. We're going to make it with 3 kinds of tomatoes, including tomatoes from my garden. This is just to show you how to cook the pork chops. So you cut it with the bone if you like. You can take off the bones, but I like the bones to get the flavor. So what you do is just cut it into small size pieces. So some of these won't have bones when you cut it. And then cut into bite-sized pieces like this. So I'm going to leave the bone on this piece, so you can get maybe 2 pieces out of there. So like that. And sometimes there's bones, so be careful. So you have 2 pork chops here, so when you cut up, it's a nice order. So we're just going to grill the pork chop. So I cut the pork chop into pieces. So I got a nice sear on the pork chop, so when you put the sauce on it, it's gonna be really nice. I'm just gonna thicken the sauce right now. So I got a tablespoon of cornstarch. Thicken the sauce right now. I got a tablespoon of cornstarch and a 1/3 cup of water. So just put some of that down. See how much you need. So. So I kept the sauce kind of simple, but you can add more flavor to it by adding a bit of soy sauce if you even like. So I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce, just a light soy sauce. Put a tablespoon of that for extra flavor. So light soy sauce has salt in it as well. And I'm going to put a bit of this sesame oil. So give that a few shakes, maybe a half teaspoonful. So I thicken the sauce. So you can take that off right now, and then you can add it to your other dishes when you need it. So you can eat it like this too, if you like, just like as a side dish. So I'm just gonna put this into a bowl. I'm gonna put that into a bowl. Just like that. So here I tasted the sauce. It's fairly sour. So you don't want it so sour. You should put more sugar or less sugar when you're working it. So I'm just going to put a couple ladles of this sauce in there with the tomatoes. So just bring that back to a boil, then we can serve the pork chops. Just before you serve, just garnish it with say a 1/2 cup of green onions. So put that in just before you serve. Mix up the green onions. So ready to serve the pork chops. There you have it, sweet and sour pork chops with 3 kinds of tomatoes. Enjoy. The recipes you get now is what I call stay-at-home recipes. This is what I have in my fridge. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. Put it in the comments in the section below. And be sure to give me a like, and be sure to subscribe, and make sure you click the bell so I can keep giving you more videos.